Everyone has an ego. As human beings in this life, we navigate our existence through our egos. We are a living constant in which by nature forms the ego to protect this entity. Survival instincts and the instinct of self-defense is the clear expression of the ego. Since we are humans, we are not just fighting to survive, but also facing challenges to overcome any dangers or fears. Having an ego generates a purpose to exceed beyond the surface level and search for a deeper meaning of peace and happiness. The journey of life exists from the ego. Philosophers have defined the different conceptions of the ego by explaining their origins, but in Buddhism, it has a very different special characteristic. Gautama Buddha has demonstrated an egotistic lesson in which it diluted sufferings for sentimental beings. In a moment of time, all our sufferings are a part of the stubborn personality derived from the ego. If someone is not aware of their ego's capabilities, then future sufferings will likely occur. What is the meaning of the ego? The ego is defined as a person's sense of self-esteem or self-importance. The perception of each person is their ego. Throughout the adolescent years, we may not have been aware of our ego or fully understand what it was other than how we respond to madness, become offended, or even robbing it of the right. As we grow throughout life, we gain experience of the unknown that leads to more discriminative comparisons like jealousy, envy, or even hate. Instinctively, whatever serves for the self, we will continue to keep, and whatever hurts the ego, we will eliminate and avoid right away. Most people recognize the idea, the thought, the honor, and their image as the ego. The importance of seeing themselves as the navel of the universe creates an illusion as they want everyone to honor, consent, and obey them as they appear above all else. They may find themselves thinking that they are better than everyone else, so they then criticize or despise others. But if all else fails and needs are not met, then their ego will instantly feel injured. Every time we face the ego, we truly realize that the ego is disastrous, cruel, and evil of the unwholesome truth. Living with an ego means you are living with greed, hatred, and ignorance. When you live with that delusion, you will generate competitions, expectations, selfishness, and jealousy. You will always want more than you need. From here, the anger is born and the resentment appears. This anger will lead to the hate and seek harm towards each other. Because of the ego, you are selfish, petty, and indifferent to everyone around you, especially those who you hate or jealous of. This life, we are not alone. Our lives intertwine with each other. We have to live responsibly with those who are close to us, like our families, parents, children, and furthermore our friendships, who may need help. Seeing something that needs to be completed, please do. Seeing something that needs help, please help. We want to aim for the deeper meaning, more noble, that leads to the value of peace and happiness. Gautama Buddha declares there is no such thing as an ego, because it is the source of suffering and samsara, so having to be complete liberated from this ego. The goal of Buddhism is egolessness. The moral of Buddhism is to seek egolessness. The wisdom of Buddhism sees clearly that the nature of ego is not real. So, what is egolessness? Egolessness is no self. How to compare from a mortal to a saint? The more ordinary people are, the higher their ego will be. Anything that disrupts their vision will make them angry and impatient. On the contrary, the more saintly people are, the smaller their ego. These people do not think about the importance of the ego, and the more you cultivate them, then the ego is non-existent. Thus, the mortal difference from the saint is that there is both an ego and not. If you follow the path of non-self, then you will not see your ego as being special. From then, narcissism or arrogance will not derive. In a non-self culture, you will find yourself small and unimportant to integrate into the community. The first lesson of non-self culture is absolute respect and honor. A great German poet said, "Standing in front of a great brain, I bowed my head, but standing in front of a great heart, I knelt down." Gautama Buddha has two qualities, the great brain and the great heart. It is imperative that we respect him. He also insists that we respect our parents. They are the Buddha of your life. They are the people who give you this shape in life. Another virtue of non-self is to rejoice because we no longer have egos and no longer have comparisons and jealousy. Rather, we see the joy, happiness, and success in others as our own. Forgive all the mistakes of others. No one is perfect and everyone has pros and cons. Always try to look at the good in others so that it will be easier for you to forgive their mistakes. Learn the verses to deal with people around you. Pay attention to the need of being. Pay attention to the sentiment of being. Love and respect everyone. Love and care every species. Thanks to selflessness, I can see my tolerance for others and see the beauty and happy of others. In life, as said, instinctive and survival instincts have us create unnecessary thoughts and chase after the delusions in our head. The ignorance that clouds us does not allow us to see the true reality. I must be this, I must be that, are the statements of the ego. The ego is an illusion, completely unreal, and because it is unreal, you cannot use your logic to destroy it. Instead, you should simply let go of the commune, space, and enlighten yourself in tranquility. You will see that the ego does not really exist and it is just an illusion. It is these delusional thoughts that follow into the past and future. Be aware of the possibilities of tranquility to experience the delusions, and you will really witness the Dhammas. This selfless lesson is profoundly significant. It is the essence of Buddha. What is presented here is just the beginning of the non-self lesson. The good of this lesson is to help people how to attain selflessness and dismiss their ego so that this society can have harmonious peace and happiness. Gautama said, "This emotion, this mind, this intellect is not me. This ego is not me, not my property." As we detract misery out of our mind, we also detract misery out of our body.